What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Transform Podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and I'm with Chino, and I'm here with our guest. I'm here with our guest, Celeste. Say hello, Celeste.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
So we're here today. We're talking about children's ministry. So if you guys have any questions, hopefully, she'll be able to answer some of them. If not, you guys can go to Transformation Church on Sundays and ask her.
Yeah, you can ask me there. Yeah.
So, you want to introduce yourself, Celeste?
Yes. Okay, so I am Celeste. Yeah, hi. I am the children's director at our church. I am really excited. It's my first full year as a director, and it's been really cool to see everything that the Lord has done with the children's department. I'm excited because this year we're going to do something brand new. We're going to do a summer program. It's our first year with VBS. And it's this month. It's July 18th through the 22nd. It's every day, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I know Nate has a flyer. So if you look at the flyer, there's an email right there. You can ask us any questions you have, or you can just fill out the registration form. And we would love to see your children there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to teach them all about the Lord and have games and stuff, and a t-shirt and food every day. So please bring your children. We would love to see them there.
This is a great experience for the kids, so we hope to see you guys there. Just a quick little plug.
Please come.
Cheeto, you want to go for it?
Wait, hold on. Before we go on, I was gonna say, so what age is it again?
Oh yes, thank you. Ages 4 to 8. 4-year-olds to 8-year-olds. Yes, they have to be able to go to the restroom by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell us about yourself. What do you do?
Okay.
What do you do for a living? What are your interests?
I'm a teacher at church, and I'm a teacher in my job. So I actually do it both places. It's the only job I've ever had. So actually, no, I lied. I had another job, but it's the only job that I'm passionate about, that I really enjoy. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and this is my 3rd year doing that. And then in church, this is my 7th year as a teacher in the church. So, it's been really cool. I started in 2015. And when I started back then, I just started as someone who just helped my friend. She asked me for help one day. I went with her, and oh my gosh, I always remembered, I was a real by the book person. I remember I went up to my pastor's wife and asked if it was okay for me to go and just help, just need someone to pass out paper. But anyways, I did that, and then over the years I just started teaching more and more. By 2017, I kind of just ended up just being one of the only teachers there. My friend who was there, she moved on to a different church, and so then I stayed to do that. And it was a lot. I learned a lot over the years. I've definitely changed and grown a lot in this ministry. So it's been really cool. Yeah.
So what made you be so passionate about becoming or working with kids?
So when I first came to church, so I used to go to church. I went to church my whole life, and then I stepped out, did my own thing. And then I came back around 2014. I came back because I was like, no, I'm not going to make it out there. So I was like, I need to get myself back to church. So I came back, and then 2014, I got baptized. And then right after that, I suddenly had this drive to teach. I had never considered it before. It was just something that I thought was cool that other sisters did, but I had never done it myself or felt a call to do it until I got baptized. And after that, it was oh, I want to be in there. I need to be doing that. So I slowly started to do that in the church, and as more and more time went on, I saw within myself skills that I didn't even know that I had come out, things that I had just never done before. And I felt really grateful to the Lord because I know that it was Him every step of the way, because I was I don't know if I can do this, but through the Lord's grace, I've done it. And then I felt so called to do it that I even did it in my career. Because when I first started college, I had no clue what I even wanted to do. I literally changed my major 5 times, and I didn't like anything. And then after I got baptized, I was no, I know for sure this is what I want to do. So I do a both. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Sometimes
it's not easy.
Yeah. Sometimes your own will is not the best will. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, yeah, no.
No, I feel you though, because I am in the middle of college right now, and I still don't know what I want to do.
Oh my gosh, it's hard.
It
It's
is.
hard to like commit to something forever and ever.
Yes. So I mean,
Yeah.
I can't relate.
you'll get there.
Anyways,
You'll get there.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah. So when working with kids, what's your approach? Like, okay, let's say you got a new kid, visitor, and they're like, oh, like, take your child with the niños. You know, what's your approach with that kid?
Okay, so so when I teach in general, just overall, and then I'll get specifically into the visitors. But when I teach in general, I feel that my responsibility is to teach the children, and this is gonna sound so silly because like duh, but like it is your responsibility to teach the children about the word of the Lord. But it's, I don't want to be dramatic, but it's like it's really special because those are the Lord's children. He even says, you know, that anybody who gets in their way, like he's not gonna be kind on them, you know, because those are his precious little babies. So I take it that seriously. So when I think about teaching the kids, I try to think about it as if it's that important. You know, the Lord is there when we're in the house of the Lord everywhere. The Lord's with us everywhere, but especially in His house, I just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to be diligent about teaching them the truth about the Lord and teaching them tools that they can use as they grow older. So tying that in with the visitor, I think a lot about how, yes, the kids need to know their Bible stories, right? Like, yes, they need to know Noah's Ark, Adam and Eve, yes. But what actually within that do they carry with them as they get older? What are they going to take from that? Yes, they can memorize the story, but what's the actual point that they're going to like keep in their hearts? So I think about like the youth, for example. When I used to work with the youth a long time ago, many years ago, I think about the things that they struggle with, the things that they're going through, the questions that they have. So I take those things and I kind of taper it down to a child's perspective. For example, if a youth is struggling with like fear, for example, I would water that down to a kid's perspective and I would say, okay, like we're going to talk about how we can trust the Lord always because the Lord is always with us and we'll never be alone. And in fact, we're doing a memory verse about that right now because my hope is that when they're old and they're the youth, that they'll have that in their heart. Even if they don't remember who taught them or they don't even remember where they learned it, at least they'll carry that with them. So that's really important to me. So that's what I try to do every Sunday that I'm teaching is to teach them something that they're going to learn because yes, then we need to know the Word of God, but we also need to know those lessons and those key things so that as we get older, we can remember, you know, actually, I don't know how to explain it, but just to give it a little bit more of a connection to them.
Yeah.
It's something that they can actually apply to their lives. So when we have a visitor, I never know if it's going to be the one time that I ever see them or if they're going to come and they're going to become members of our church. So when I have a visitor, I really just try to just get that, you know, that message across. The Lord loves you. The Lord's always with you. You'll never be alone. There's nothing to fear because we have the Lord with us. I literally just try to like get that as much as I can in that like hour and a half that I have them because I don't know if that's the only time they're going to hear it until they get older. So that's the perspective that I take with it is what if this is the one chance that I do get to teach them that? So I take it. I mean, maybe that's a little bit too serious, but I don't think it is.
No, I mean,
no,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say yeah. No, I think like that's how do I say it? Like no, you just broke it down like super like nice. You know, like it opened up like my way of how you teach them because when I went in there once too and I seen you teaching them, I was like wow, like it's hard, like you know it's difficult and I give you props for that because you have been doing it for a good time now, and which is really crazy too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try. I mean, but it wasn't easy, and I definitely didn't do that the first year or two that I taught. The first year or two, it was like we are learning the Bible stories, like that's what we're doing. But now,
You're like,
but
okay, niños, open up your Bibles to Genesis 5:6, please.
Yes, exactly. There's like the very beginning. They're from the very beginning. But after I got more comfortable with it, and the Lord shows you. The Lord, you know, helps you grow through all of that. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, I have this set up the way that I like it, but it takes time. And I was thinking about that earlier too. The way that the children's ministry was when I first started working with it to the way that it is now is completely different and in the best way.
Yeah.
Because when I first started working, there was always like one teacher for the whole department. And that was really
stressful.
Tough. Yeah, it's a lot. It's really hard to do it all by yourself. And then there would be sisters from time to time who would come in and help. But it's still a lot when feels like it's all like kind of on you. So it's hard to grow in that way. So I'm really grateful that I think I want to say real quick to anybody else who works in the children's ministry, I want to say that if you're having a hard time right now and it feels like you're alone and you're carrying all of that pressure, I want you to know that it does get better. The Lord is with you. Because I was like that. It was really hard, and a lot of times I just felt like I had nobody else to do it with me. It was lonely, and there would be times when I would pray. Like 2016, 2017, I would pray like, Lord, please send people to help us. And then it would feel like nothing was happening. But now we flash forward to 5 years later, and the Lord has opened so many doors. There's so many sisters who want to help. There's so many people doing all kinds of things. So please believe me when I tell you that I get it. I know what you're going through, but the Lord hears you. He's not ignoring you. Just hold on a little bit longer. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Seriously, it will be.
I was gonna ask you, like, what advice do you have for like the young teachers coming in or whatever, you know, like if they're having difficulties or whatever?
This is one piece of advice that I heard, and I'm going to give it now, but it's kind of an annoying piece of advice. One of the things I would say is to find a mentor, but I don't like that piece of advice because it's like, well, how do I just go out and find one? Do I just ask somebody like, you want to be my mentor? You know? So pray for one. Because I, about 3 years in, ended up working with the sister who really, without intentionally trying to, she really taught me a lot. She helped me out in the children's department, and she really taught me how to plan lessons, how to teach it. I remember till this day, I still plan lessons the way that she taught me, and I still find myself teaching the way that she would teach it. So that's a really big one. But even, you know, if you can't find somebody, that's okay too. But the thing that I would say is to make sure that you're always staying teachable, and to not be too afraid to ask for help, even if you ask, you know, a sister who's maybe done it before, even your pastor's wife. If you need help, it's okay to ask for help. And I would say too, be open to working with multiple people. I'm really grateful. This is part of the next phase of what I'm learning, is working with a lot of sisters. I have so many sisters who have talents that I don't have, and who have skills that I don't have. And so really just be open to getting comfortable with a lot of people. I'm not really extroverted, I'm really introverted. So I would say just doing that and allowing yourself to be still teachable, because at the end of the day, it is all for the children. So we have to kind of set aside ourselves and our maybe things that we're a little bit uncomfortable with, and really just do what it takes to teach those babies, because they need to know the word of the Lord. Yeah.
I would even say, like, if you at your church, if somebody else is watching this from a different church, hello. But if you're at a church and there's like, you've asked for help but you're not getting help, and you feel like you're all alone and you want to give up, I would say ask questions to somebody at another church. Obviously, don't be like, hey, be my mentor. But be like, hey, how do you approach this? Hey, how do you approach that? You know, asking questions it's nothing bad. I mean, you'd be surprised to see how many people are willing to help. So just throw that out there.
I'll help. Email me on that flyer. I'll help you.
There you go.
Yeah. Another thing I would say is when you teach lessons, you gotta not be afraid to let a lesson totally crash and burn and fail. It's okay if it does, because if you don't ever mess up here and there, you're not gonna get any better. I've tried things that the kids have been like, this is so boring. I'm like, okay, true, we won't do it again. It's totally fine. So I would say not be afraid to take risks when you teach lessons. And then I would also say to really be diligent about giving yourself enough time to actually plan the lessons. Don't do it Saturday night. Don't do it Sunday morning. Really give yourself time. You're not going to really know.
Go ahead and say that again.
Don't do it Saturday night or Sunday morning. No, seriously, because it's not fair to the children you teach. It's not fair. I'm not trying to scold you, but I'm saying for me, from my own experience, I've learned it the hard way. You're not going to be able to really teach them a full message from the Lord and what the Lord wants them to hear if you're just, you know, on the drive to church trying to come up with it, you know? Like, really give yourself the time to get into what the Lord wants them to hear. So take it from me, please. Give yourself time.
All right, awesome. So moving on to the next one. So I just thought about this right now. What's your approach on a child that's like shy, and you kind of want, you know, get them involved a little more? What would you do?
Okay. So if this was like a visitor first time, let's say. or no? Anybody?
Anybody, like, let's say member, visitor,
I think what I would first do, excuse me, is I would first have us play a game. I would
icebreaker.
have us do something silly. Yeah, something silly where everybody kind of looks a little silly and it's okay because we're all having a good time, just to make them look more comfortable. And then I would have them sit with somebody who's not maybe too over the top, but I'd have them sit with somebody who is more comfortable and is willing to help them with whatever they need help with, who will show them where all the stuff is in the classroom, make them feel a little bit more comfortable. And then I always like to give them like a little prize to thank them for coming so they feel, that they were
Welcomed.
appreciated, that we were
Yeah.
happy that they were here. Yeah. Because that's true. They do get a little bit overwhelmed sometimes, especially like in our classroom, because we are very like animated and we will have a lot of fun. So if you're not comfortable with it, it can be a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think working with kids, you have to be uncomfortable with things.
You gotta not be afraid to be silly.
Yeah.
Because they love it. They love it. They think it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chino, you got anything to ask?
I was gonna ask, what's like the best or the hardest part about teaching?
Okay, well, I'll do both. The best is, oh, my goodness. Let me start with the hardest first. The hardest part is, actually, it's really not, because people would think that it would be like the kids' behavior, right? But it's really not. That's not the hardest part. I think the hardest part for me personally, just myself, the hardest part is that I worry that it's not gonna be, I'm not doing enough to make it, like, you know what I mean? Like, I always worry about that, because when we are talking about the word of God, it's like, you're never gonna be able to do enough to make, because the Lord deserves the very best and we could never do enough,
Yeah.
So, but I do worry about, within my abilities, am I doing the best? I think about that a lot, because it's the ministry that the Lord has given me, so do I do my best, honestly? That's something I think about a lot. But the best part is definitely how happy they are when they're there and they feel safe and they feel comfortable enough to not worry about anything else, to just enjoy the lesson. And I love when we teach a lesson, we're talking about Moses right now, and I love that we're weeks into that and they can go back and they can recount all the different pieces of his story. That makes me really proud, because I'm like, okay, you got it. Like, this is in you. You're going to remember this. So I really love those moments. And like with VBS, not to like plug it again or anything, but like I'm looking forward to seeing more of those moments, because they're going to have that, where they get to make more memories and they get to just enjoy themselves in the presence of the Lord. That to me is like the best part. Absolutely.
It's great.
Yeah.
So comparing the kids at church versus school, correct? What's the hardest part about, or what's the hardest part about teaching kids about God compared to school? What would you say the differences be, like, let's say in your job, correct, and church? What would be the differences in teaching? Like, is there different trials or problems or issues?
I mean, it's pretty different. So when I'm at work, when I teach kindergarten, and it's hard because there are so many times when I, will hear of something that the student is going through in their personal life, and I want to so badly just be like, I'm praying for you, the Lord is with you, it's going to be okay, I would love to say that, but sometimes, in our jobs we can't do that. So that's hard, because I know that within myself that I so desperately want to tell them about the Lord's love, of course. So that part is hard. But at the same time, I feel that what I can do is just to make sure that even though I can't directly tell them about the Lord's love, I can still show them. So I really try to just be more patient and more kind, and maybe be that, because sometimes they don't have that example in their homes. So I try to make it to where I can be that example. At least in one place they'll have that, But at church, I still try to be patient and kind at church. It's not that I don't either, but I do have more freedom to be like, the Lord loves you. This is going to be okay. If they have a prayer request because somebody in their family is sick, we can do that right then and there, It is different in that way. But I do try my best to, in both places, share the love of the Lord through my actions, because at least I know that I can do that. I'm trying, but it is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And especially,
no,
especially
go ahead.
through 2020, 2021, with everything going on in the world, that was hard to be working and hearing kids that their family members were sick and stuff. Um, so that was hard. I mean, I went on my own. I would pray for them, on my lunch break or at home, but it's still, yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, I hated 2020, 2021.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was. I enjoyed it because they shut down the schools and I wasn't technically with the classroom, so I would just go play golf in the mornings and then come back.
God.
But like slowly coming back, I hated it. It's horrible.
Really, we were like right away. I was working the whole time with the kids.
Yeah.
That year felt so long. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Thank God
Yeah,
it's
but
over.
But it is weird. Also, in my head, though, I kind of feel like I don't even remember those years. It's kind of like it's just a blur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. What would you say to somebody that wants to work with kids in the church that's like afraid to speak up or afraid to speak up and be like, hey, can I help with the kids?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I would say that if you feel that is what the Lord is calling you to do and you've prayed about it and this is what the Lord's called you to do, please do it. Talk to your pastor's wife, because if it's a calling from the Lord is going to give you strength every step of the way. So if you're worried that maybe you can't do it well, or maybe you comparing yourself to others, I can't do it like these people have done it, don't worry about it. Please step up and say something to them, because if the Lord calls you to do it, you never know. I mean, maybe those children need the gift that the Lord has given you, So I would say get in there, and also it's okay to not be so good at it at first. It's okay. I wasn't. You'll be fine. Yeah, and I would say, if you feel like you aren't, I don't know, maybe you're not able to speak up, I would say just to continue to pray about it. Maybe pray the Lord reveals it to them. I don't know, but get in there, because you're going to do a great job. If the Lord is calling you to do it and that's your ministry, you're going to do great. Please go do it.
Even if you just talk to your pastor, like, hey, one-on-one, right? You don't have to do it obviously in public, because I feel like if you do it in public, it's even gives you more of like a stage fright type of thing, because it's
Text them. You're like, can we talk real quick? Let me just call you. No, do it face to face. Do it face to face. But
face to face is best.
Face to face is good. But I'm saying like
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
But now I got a question for you. No, seriously, because it's so much fun and it's so rewarding. And it's a privilege, honestly. I think it is. To get to work with the children is a privilege. And if you feel called to do it, you're going to do a great job. The Lord is not going to call you to do something and then put you in there and then like leave you stranded. So please go for it, and go for it with confidence, because the Lord is with you.
Yeah, you guys got support. But yeah, if you want to do it, go talk to your pastor, talk to your Niños director, let them know. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'll say, if you're at our church and you want to do it, please let us know.
I was gonna say like the Niños department always needs help. There's always needs help. That's like the one department that's like they have help, but then it's not enough help because there's so many kids, or
they all need
there's always that one kid that needs the extra attention. You know what I mean? But yeah, talk to them. I mean, they always need help. Yeah. You got any more questions, Chino?
No, that's about it from us.
Okay.
Well. Oh, you know what else I think? I was
going
to say real quick. When you're planning stuff for the first time and you're overwhelmed, please go online and look it up and find different resources, different websites. There's tons of information out there for planning lessons, but just make sure that whatever you do, bring it back to the Word of God, bring it back to your faith, your doctrine. Make sure that it all lines up so you're teaching the children, the truth about the Lord. But don't be afraid to look for different resources. There's tons out there to get you started. You're going to be good.
Yep. So that's about it from us. It's a short episode today, but I hope you were able to get the information you needed. If you have any more questions, I will drop down the email for the Niños department below. If you have any questions, email them. You can always message us on Instagram. We'll be able to relay.
Yeah. If you got me on Instagram and you have a question about the teaching, don't worry about it. Let me know. I'll get back to you.
We're always willing to help you guys. So yeah, any last things, Celeste, you want to add?
No, I would just say, please, if that's your calling, get in there.
Plug in
We're
your
gonna do such
plug in your
great-
VBS one more time.
Please come to VBS, bring your children. It's going to be July 18th through the 22nd from 10 to 1. Please go to the registration link and sign them up and bring your kids. They're going to get t-shirts, food, fun stuff every day. Please come. We would love to see you.
All right, well, that's another episode from us. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Again, we're not doing this for us. We're not doing this for anyone else. We're doing this for God, and hopefully able to help you guys grow in your guys' ministries, and in your personal life and your spiritual life. So, yeah. Well, that's another episode. So, God bless.